Hi everyone, welcome to a Chandler's channel. I'm Tracy and I'm your host. And today's session is our weekly reading for June 3rd to June 9th. See, I'm looking right here, right? June 3rd to June 9th. So if that's what you're here for, like I always say, hold on, because I always like to touch back on the previous week. I'm chewing gum. This is one of my really bad habits. But I do need it today because my throat is very dry and sore. So, it helps me instead of me losing my voice and you guys being unable to hear me. So, just deal with it. Just kidding. So, last week was quite actually the message from Whitehawk, wasn't it? He was saying that we live in weird and dangerous times. And that the next 10 years there'll be creations that we've never seen quite the like before, and we're going to go the right way or turn the right way. If you haven't had a chance, listen to it. It's a really good message, and that we're to be safe, play safe. So with that, I feel like there's lots of change coming. Be the change you want to see in the world. I read that, and that's so true and very important. So that was last week. And my week, last week, was still very busy, the end of the month, May, and in fact, today's the last day of May while I videotape this. And it was just crazy busy, and I really do hope, oh my goodness, I wish I could show you this. There's a blue jay at my bird feed, at my bird bath, and he's drinking water and he's looking up at me into the window. Blue jays are so beautiful. Well, when I get a better camera, I'll be able to, or video camera, I'll be able to show you those things. It was really beautiful. Okay, since I'm blabbering on, what was I saying? Do you guys remember? Help me now. Give me the thought back. Shoot, sorry, it's gone. So let's go get, without delay, let's go get Whitehawk and let's just see what he has to say for our upcoming week. He says, indeed, the tides are upon us, he says, n'est-ce pas? And when I say the tides are upon us, he says, I mean the tides of change. There will be many changes, none the same, none the like you have ever seen, he says. I do not say that to instill fear, he says, in you little ones, as much as I do to instill hope, faith. To know, as a human race, we all have a common denominator, he says, and that is to move forward, my children. And as he says this to me, we're riding horses, he and I. He's on his white one, I'm on my cognac one, and we're riding along a well-worn path, footpath, grassy path, a path that we ride on most often. And as we ride, we're riding into the forest that I've told you of, I think, in the June reading. And I can see the opening from the forest. We're riding in there, and he's still talking, and, the air's always cooler in the forest. And he says, yes, the forest is one of the best kept secrets, he says, one of our best healers, he says, n'est-ce pas? One that needs to be told, he says, to everyone, for we need to replenish, he says, our energy reserves in the forest, he says. But to get back to what I was saying, children, he says, I simply want you to reflect. Sit back and reflect, he says, children, on what the next 10 years might mean to you. What changes, he says, would you like to see? Good and bad, he says, smiling with a wry smile. He says, what changes would you like to see in the next 10 years? Good and bad, my children. And when you're done, he says, reflecting on that, he says, give thanks to whomever your Lord is, whether you believe in a God or not. He says, give thanks to the universe. Give thanks to Mother Nature, he says. Give thanks to whomever you feel comfortable giving thanks to, whether it be your mother in heaven above or your father, he says, in down below. Well, I don't know why I said that, but hey, I have to repeat it. Yes, he says, do not censor. We are all old enough, he says, to hear my words, to heed my pleas, he says, to heed my words. So that is all for now, my children. Your week, though, he says, will be filled with fun and laughter. He says, although there will be quite a jolt of surprise, he says, coming our way. He says, but one that will uplift us, that will bring us joy and laughter, he says. I feel bright as he says that, and I'm talking to him. He says, yes, indeed. And I did have JC, as I call him lovingly. You would know him as Jesus. I did have him let me know that he is here. I do not see him. He has not come to into the visual, into the reading. So yeah, I just more get a sense that he's letting us know that he's here. And he nods his head. I do see him, but he's not in the reading. And he just nods his head like, yes, he's agreeing to what I just said. So Whitehawk continues. As we enter into the forest more deeply, he says, so go forward, my children, in hope and health and happiness, in light, he says, in knowing that we are the change. We are the change, he says. That is about to happen. God bless, he says. Thanks for listening and thanks for coming here, he says. It gives me much pleasure knowing, he says, that we are arriving one by one. God bless. God bless. Whitehawk, thank you. Well, there you go. More of a follow-up to last week's reading. So important that you, I think, listen to last week's reading, which is in the library or archives. So that is our reading, and as always, we have a topic of the week reading coming up, and our last topic of the week was the month of June. I hope you had a chance to listen to that. It was a bit lengthy, the good news being, hey, I uploaded it to a PC, and I was able to go over the 15 minutes onto YouTube, so yay for me, something new I learned. It took forever, though, just so we know. So our next topic of the week is going to be on the body's wisdom. And the body's wisdom always falls under intuition, just as there's actually much that falls under intuition, and we could do a session on that as well. But for now, I'll leave it with the body's wisdom, and the body's wisdom is very strong. It really is. A lot of my messages, a lot of what I intuit comes to me through my body, because you listen to pain. So if things pain you, you're gonna listen. So that's all I have to say for this week. I love doing this. I want to say thank you to you guys for listening, for viewing, for subscribing, for commenting, for liking, for sharing. For those who haven't yet, please subscribe. It's free. You know when the videos are up. You don't have to come looking for me. Like, comment, share as always. I am on Twitter at Tracy Roy. I do let little tidbits of information out there as to how I see the world and, you know, in what I'm doing for my day to day, or little quotes, or who knows. So join me there, and join me for our topic of the week, which usually drops Wednesday, Thursday, and our weekly reading, which drops, I'll say usually Mondays. So God bless for being here. I really enjoy your company. I'm Tracy for a Channeler's Channel.